Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining me for the first time. I'm so glad you're here. How did you hear about me? Good morning, Sharon. Hi, Mary Lou. Good to have you here. Hi, Joan. I hope your Monday is off to a good start. I just got back from Florida yesterday morning, and it was a glorious day. I was way too tired to be outside though, so I did laundry and some things I needed to make sure I'm back on track for today. And oh, Katie, good to know you saw some of my posts on Facebook. Well, I'm glad you're here. But anyways, today is a glorious day here as well in Central Ohio. It's going to be 75 degrees. I actually put shorts on. I have a long sleeve tee, but I actually put my shorts on, and will be taking my walk shortly after my live today. But I wanted to start off by saying last week I was in Florida with my upline. She and her husband have a second home there. So I flew to Sarasota on Monday and spent a few days with them, which was wonderful. I had a beach day in November. That's so cool. And just really enjoyed it. Lots and lots. And then on Thursday evening, just before our Onstage at Home virtual event started, one of my teammates, Jenny Gilbert, met us in Sarasota. She lives in Ponce Inlet, Florida, so on the other side of the state. But she drove into Sarasota to meet us, and the three of us did the watched and stamped together for Onstage at Home. And it was wonderful. I posted something this morning. I like those Rose Hill designs and inspirational quotes, and I put it on my personal profile this morning. And it's something about, oh gosh, I can't read. You know what? I can probably read it to you because I think I still have it up. I do. It says, "It's a new week filled with bright beginnings and hopeful dreams. The future is shining. Let's go." And honestly, that's how I feel after going to a Stampin' Up event. It is so, those events are so motivating and inspiring, not to mention fun. I always learn business tips. I always get some new ideas for creative projects. So as my friend and demonstrator colleague Belle Harder said, my heart is full and my brain is overloaded. So I have lots that I'm going to be working on in the next few weeks and months, applying what I've taken away from Onstage at Home. But I'm happy to be back working my regular schedule at home with my full-time Stampin' Up job. So let's get started, okay? Let me flip my phone around. And then I'll show you what you're going to do. You are not going to want to miss this. Give me a few seconds to flip here. Oops. That wasn't very graceful, was it? I had it all lined up and I bumped it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, and I am trying something new. I've got a black background setting out here for stamping. And I'm just testing it out to see how it's going to work with lighting, things like that. So bear with me, but I think all is good from what I've tested. Okay, so if you love getting creative inspiration, I would love for you to have to join my team. The number one reason I have stayed a demonstrator when I had no intention whatsoever of sticking around for years and years and building a business but the number one reason I stay is the friendships and relationships I've made on this 12 and a half year journey. And the second reason I stay is for all the creative inspiration. That's something that truly fills me up. It really does. To be able to share something I love is just so, I don't know how else to say it except it fills my heart. And to get feedback from people saying you do a great job, or you made my day with that quote, or I needed some creative inspiration and you provided it. I sent a card to my aunt and she absolutely loved it, and I cased that card from something you did. Those are all things that really are very motivating and inspiring to me. And then of course there's other wonderful benefits. So if you're ever interested, the starter kit truly is the best deal in our catalog. And I would love to have you be one of my Mary Stampers team members, because we too have lots of benefits to our team. One being that I give all of my PDF tutorials that I use for my classes to go. I give them free to my team. We have them posted on our Mary Stampers team group, Facebook group. So today I'm going to show you how to make some quick and easy cards that will basically knock the socks off the people who are going to be receiving them. But for you, these cards will use limited supplies and are not terribly time consuming. Many times I hear people say, no, I don't make my own Christmas cards. It's just too time consuming. Well, if you've ever said that, this session is for you. Or if you want to make a bunch of birthday cards in a hurry, this session is for you. Or if you are needing lots of sympathy and thinking of you cards to have on hand, have in your stash when you need them, ready when you need them, this is for you. So today I'm going to focus on Christmas cards, but of course, like I said, you can adapt this for any occasion you want. The basic supplies you need are some designer series paper. It can be 6-inch DSP or it can be 12-inch DSP, but you're going to cut those, into 2-inch strips or smaller. They could be 1.5-inch strips. You can use up scraps if you want. You will need some neutral card bases, and I always pick, whether I pick white or vanilla, depends on the designer series paper I pick. This particular pack of DSP has lots of vanilla in it, not Whisper White. So that's why I chose vanilla. Of course, your envelopes. And then you're going to need some ink pads. And I'm going to tell you something. If you don't know this already, every time you get a pack of designer series paper and you look on the back, it tells you what colors, what Stampin' Up! Colors are used in that designer series paper. It will also tell you that in the catalog, but I use this as a quick reference. So I know for these cards, I'm going to pull Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Pretty Peacock. Those are going to be my stamping colors, so I've got those ready. And then you want a variety of sentiments. Again, if it's birthday, do birthday. If you want sympathy and thinking of you, pull stamp sets that have those. But I chose some of my favorite from this holiday catalog. Poinsettia Petals, Dove of Hope, For Unto Us, and Wrapped in Christmas. And remember, for this, you're looking at the sentiments that you want to use. Choose a few embellishments. I chose the blue adhesive back gems, the gold gems, gilded gems, the iridescent pearls, the copper stars, and the holiday rhinestones. Now, this doesn't mean I'm going to use all of these. It doesn't mean that I'll use all 4 of those stamp sets. But if you gather your supplies first, you have everything at the ready. So that also adds to your time efficiency while you're doing this. Pam Simmons, thanks so much for sharing, and hello to Tammy, and who else jumped on here when I was talking? Sally, Mary Lou, thank you. And if you would click share, I would appreciate that so much. That's how I'm able to reach more people. Hello, Chris from upstate New York. I'm happy you're here. You'll also want your paper trimmer handy, okay? So let's get started. I have cut lots of 2-inch strips, and I'm using front and back for a lot of them. If you have scraps or partial pieces of DSP, then, you know, you can cut those to 2-inch strips. Oh, Katie, I'm happy to hear you say that about the black background, because this is something brand new I'm trying. You're my guinea pigs for the day. So I'm happy to hear that, and I hope it continues to work throughout. You know, I'm always learning along the way. How can I make improvements and present things to you just a wee bit better? Alrighty, so for my first card, and if you don't know this already, some of you who've been with me for a long time may know, but I have some drawers to the left of me where all my cardstock paper is stored, and I always have a stack of very vanilla card bases cut and scored. I have a stack of Whisper White cut bases and card bases cut and scored. Those are the main two, but if you have a color like these two and other ones that you use a lot, perhaps black or Night of Navy, or you use a lot of Calypso Coral, whatever it is, if you have a stack, especially of these neutrals, these card bases, it's so convenient. So I keep a stack with thick Whisper White and thick Fairy Vanilla. So that's what I'm pulling from. So you just want to burnish that end, crease that score line really well. And for this first card, I'm just going to make it the length of my card base, or the width of my card base, I should say. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5. Whoops. I don't want to adhere it just yet because I haven't picked my sentiment. Usually I just lay it down here, but I was jumping ahead. But for this one, I want to use Oh Come Let Us Adore Him. I think that would be pretty with the holly and berries on the green. So I'm going to set this on my block. Yeah, blocks are kind of dirty today. And I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow because that matches my DSP. You know what? I need to move some of this out of the way. It's a little crowded in here. And the first thing I like to do is check to see if I'm stamping straight. And I am, so I know where to look when I'm putting this on my cardstock. And like I said, I really should have just laid my DSP on there. And then adhered it, but I did it this way. And then let's see, I want to add, now the metallic in here is actually copper, but, oh, where are my pearls? I got a brand new package of pearls. I don't know where I put those. So you can add your sentiments now. You could choose to layer and back these, but for now, I'm just showing you quick and easy card layouts to make lots of cards at once. So now I think I'll use the reverse of that and do these stars Actually, I can use the piece I've already cut, can I? And I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 inches. Now you're going to say, Mary, it would look better if you matted all of these pieces. I agree. It would look beautiful if you matted these maybe with the copper, oh, that's not scored correctly, with the copper foil paper. This would look great with any of those 3 colors we talked about: Pretty Peacock, Night of Navy, and Mossy Meadow. But it doesn't have to. Get me? Get what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm just going to lay that here because I want to do my stamping first. In case I make a mistake, then I'm not wasting the my DSP. So I like this one, Peace on Earth. I like it with the stars. I need to move up a little bit, don't I? Let's make sure I'm in the screen. And if it's easier for you to stamp with your card open, go ahead and do that. And there's my Peace on Earth. But sometimes I think it's nice to just go back to the very basics. Stamps, ink, and paper. And that's what I'm showing you today. So if you are a beginner stamper, or you know of somebody else that's a beginner stamper, or if you simply are one of those people that like simple stamping, this is for you. Now here's where I'm going to add some of those copper stars. How many of you have seen or used these copper stars? Put some right here, I think. I think they're lovely. And if you're somebody that, especially if you're in the US and make patriotic cards, this week in our country is, we'll be celebrating Veterans Day. So these copper stars are wonderful for that as well. Now, normally I would just stick them on, but I'm kind of lining them up with the DSP here. Quick and easy, right? And this might be something, again, you can switch out things and make a patriotic card with it. Use the red, white, and blue if you're in the US. So there's a number 2. Okay, what else do we have? All right, I really love this sentiment here. Peace, joy, love. And I'm going to stamp it in the bottom right corner. I've got my Simply Chamois off to the side, like I always do when I'm stamping. It never leaves that spot. So it's easy for me to clean and remove my stamps right away. Oh, look at this one. This is pretty. With this, I feel like I need to move this a little closer or something. Okay, with this, I want to make sure I leave enough room to stamp my Peace, Joy, Love. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that first. And I'm going outside of my comfort zone here, but this DSP makes it easy for me to do that. I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. Before we had this paper, Pretty Peacock is certainly not a color I would have used for Christmas cards. But honestly, it's grown on me. I love it. Love it. Okay, one thing I want to mention right now about the DSP is that some of the DSP is non-directional. Say, for example, this one. There is no direction to that. this one is non-directional. It can go either way. The stripe really is non-directional, but you can choose which way you want the stripes to run, okay? But for some of them, they should only be going one direction. You don't want your ornament sideways or upside down. So pay attention to the design of your DSP to make sure when you cut it that it will be going in the same direction as you need it to on your card. So I've got a horizontal card, so I want my ornaments going horizontally, and I'm going to stick this on there. Now, if you really wanted to dress up your cards even more, after maybe layering the DSP and adding some fun embellishments, you could even add ribbon. So there's lots and lots of ways to dress them up, but it's always good to start with the basics. Even if I were to make a fancy card, I'd still be starting with these same basic elements. Ink, paper, stamps, okay? Or SIP, as I like to call it, stamps, ink, paper. Take a sip. Stamps, ink, and paper. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of one. Now here I have this strip of the same DSP I just used, but this one's vertical. So let's use this for a vertical card. I'll cut it to 5.5 inches. When you're doing something like this too, based on the sentiment you're using, you can decide if you want it in the center. If it were a small sentiment, you could put left or right, or you can put it all the way to your fold like that. Or I like to show just a little bit of the cardstock on the left side, but there's no right or wrong to this, okay? Oops, I did it again, didn't I? I'm just going to set that there lightly in case I make a mistake. And I'm going to use, where is it here? Here it is. So I'm pulling from a variety of sets. Let the joy of the season fill your heart. Isn't that a sweet message? I'll use the pretty peacock again, but I want to kind of test this out and see how straight I'm stamping it. Okay, a little tilted. There. Now, if you're making a whole lot of these with one stamp and you want to make sure it's stamped precisely in every, oh, this could go in the middle, it could go at the top, it could go at the bottom. I always tend to go towards the bottom. But if I were to be making a lot of these, same design, stamp in the same place, I would pull out my Stamparatus and adhere the stamp to the stamping plate, okay? Oh, Joan, you and Sister Kathleen used this on Saturday. It is one of my all-time favorites. We used this at my 2019 Creative Escape Weekend, October Creative Escape Weekend, and boy, was it a hit. Okay, I'm trying to pull some embellishments I haven't used yet. You know, I think I'm going to try these embellishments. I'll put one. I'll put one here. And up here. I love these iridescent pearls because they really do, you know, they've got blue and greens and metallics and purples, and they really do pick up the colors of the colors on your project. So what are you thinking so far? Okay. Let's see, what else can we do here? Oh, here's a fun one. Again, I'm going to cut this to, oh, this time I'm going to cut it differently. I'm going to have it go this direction, vertically on my horizontal card. So I'm going to cut this to 4 1/4 inches. So these card bases, when they're folded, measure 5 1/2 and 4 1/4. That's what's standard here. I believe that's called A2 size cards. I know in some of our other markets, their standard is A4. And I don't remember exactly what that is. I think it's not quite as, I think it's a little narrower and a little longer if I remember correctly. Oh, Tammy, you're going to do this with your great niece. Yay! I'm so happy to hear that. Katie, you like these? She says, darling, simple cards. Awesome. You guys are making my day. I'm so happy. Okay. Oh, I know which one I want to use. Look at this. Look at this. How about that? Hark the herald angels sing. Need to clean off another stamp. And switch to this block. I'm going to stamp on my scrap paper first. What I do when I'm stamping on my scrap paper is I just pick a word, like I'm going to pick angels, and I look at that over the top to see if it's, you know, what I could consider straight, okay? And then I stamp it. So it still looks pretty straight across to me. That way, if I don't have it mounted exactly right, or it hasn't been cut exactly perfectly, I know to either shift up a little on the right or left. Just a quick little tip. But usually if you take the time and mount your stamps nicely, that tends to not be a problem at all. On this, I want to add a gold gilded gem right here. I'm using the smallest size and adding it to that star there. And you can see it's not the exact, it's not copper, but it's gold, but it works, doesn't it? Okay. So how pretty is that, right? Simple and gorgeous. Now I still have all of this left. And this time, oh, that's pretty as well. We're going to use that. And did I cut it short? No. We're going to use this one, and then we're going to work with some 2-inch squares. Before you burnish your, crease, make a nice hard crease on the score line. Make sure your corners are lining up. Again, if we take the time to score our cardstock nicely, it's really not a problem, but I do like to double check that. And here's one, and I just want to find a little sentiment that will fit right here. Don't forget, bows are always an option. Oh, here's one. Christmas begins with Christ. Merry Christmas. Glory to the newborn King, for unto us a child is born. Oh, they're all beautiful. What else do I have here? Peace on earth, most wonderful time of the year. Christmas blessings to you and yours. I really like that one. What's here? Warm wishes from our house, from our home to yours. Thank you for making this a wonderful season. What a nice sentiment for a thank you note. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, that would be cool too. But let's do the thank you note. I'm pretty good about writing thank you notes when somebody sends me a gift. I like to think I've never missed doing that, but I'm going to keep it real and say life happens, so it's possible. Okay. Now this I don't have to stamp on scrap paper because it's photopolymer, so it makes it easy to see if I have it straight or not. I'm a little bit off there. You know what? I'm a little bit off there. I'm not quite straight. So I'm going to give it a second try. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move that up and switch the placement of my stamp to just below that DSP. And that looks better. Okay? One of those teaching moments, I'll call it. If you make a mistake, don't panic. This is one of those crafts that, you know, makes it easy to, what did somebody tell me? Turn those mistakes into creative opportunities. That's what she said. Turn those mistakes into creative opportunities. Look how pretty that is. Gosh, I haven't used these and I really wanted to. But I think I'm going to grab my pearls. Where are they? Can you believe a few weeks ago I went to use my pearls and they were completely gone? Like, I don't even remember that happening. But I think these work are pretty lovely with, they're a little whiter than the vanilla, but they really do work on both the vanilla and the white. Trying to get this teeny tiny one. And let's see. This is what I'm going to do with some of these small ones. I could be using my putty end, which I typically do, but I can tell you it is upstairs right now because I was working on a project last night when I was watching a little TV, although there wasn't much of anything interesting on. So I know it's up there. But this is a fun way to accent those little berries in here. I'm going to do it 3 times. I'm going to do it here, here, and here. So if you, you know, take a good look at your DSP and think there are special places, just like I did with the stars, those copper stars on that star DSP, you can use your embellishments to provide more accent to the DSP itself. Now you could do all of them on this page if you wanted, but that would be using up a whole lot of pearls at one time. But I think to just have some scattered throughout like this works really well. I might want to do 2 more sets, but for now I think I'll leave it be. So what do you think about that? Sharon says she loves these cards. Amy, I'm glad you made it. Yes, this paper is beautiful. I was going to put some around. I'm trying to decide if I want some around. Maybe I do. I'm just going to put a cluster of 3 together below my sentiment. Kind of draws the eye to the sentiment, but also coordinates with what's up here. Now I have 4 clusters. I want an even number. So I'm going to do just another little cluster right, oh, what should I do? I'm going to do these and have the one or 2 cross over both the DSP and the cardstock. I would say this is a whole lot of pearls on one card if you're making a lot. But if you're, oops, come on pearl. It's sticking to everywhere but where I need it. I don't know why I can't grab it on the end here. Oh, for heaven's sakes. There we go. There we go. So pretty, huh? But I think, you know, if you're making one card like this, it's kind of nice to have several. But I think it makes a really nice thank you card. And you can use this for Christmas thank yous. You can just use it throughout the holiday season for any kind of thank you. Perhaps a hostess gift or even a birthday gift you received. Mine's in December. So, of course, people are used to say, well, my mom used to wrap my Christmas gifts or birthday gifts in like old Christmas paper sometimes. And I remember I was about 12 or 13 and she said, what would you like for your birthday this year? And I said, the only thing I want is to have birthday wrapping paper. And so she got the message, and I've always had birthday wrapping paper since, but that was kind of a funny thing. But yes, great to use throughout the season. So I love that thank you. And how quickly can you whip these up, right? You can easily make 10, 15, 20 of these very, very quickly. All right, I said next we would work with some squares. So I cut that one. And then I've got some of my scraps over here, so I'm going to use up some of these. And I'm just going to cut 2-inch squares. Simple enough, right? And which other one do I want? Do I want that one? Could even use one of these. Oh, see, they're all cool. I like those. Let's try these together first. And then we can do some more. So with these, and there are lots of ways to use the squares. I think for this first one, I just want to do something kind of like that. And mix them around and see what you like best. You can even do something like that. See what I'm doing? Ooh, how about this? I like that where they're overlapping a little bit. All right. So once you've played with your 2-inch squares and found an arrangement that you like, then you just adhere them to your paper. If you feel more comfortable in stamping first, go ahead and do that. And you see, I don't have any of them lined up directly. Kind of makes it a little more interesting, I think. And I need just I want a small sentiment for right here. Well, let's use this one. A little something for you. And watch what I do with this card. Now this is meant to be stamped at an angle, okay? Just so you know that. It's not meant to be stamped straight. It is written on an angle. And I'm just going to leave this here until I stamp this and I know exactly where I want that. And this time I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow. And I think that looks awesome. So now I'm ready to put my other squares down. Again, none of them are lining up with the others horizontally or vertically. Just gives it a little more interest. That. Okay. And then I'm thinking, is this a place I can use these? I'm going to try it. These blue adhesive backed gems. And again, these kind of pick up the colors that you have in your designer series papers. I feel like I want a large one even, maybe up here. Look at that, so simple. Amy, thanks for sharing, I appreciate that. Tammy, thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Let's do another one with squares. Oh, I know what I was going to do with this one. I thought, okay, what am I forgetting here? You know that giving gift cards is something very popular to do right now. I'm going to just create a little pocket for my gift card. I'm going to punch a semicircle out. Okay, just kind of center it, eyeball it. I don't really measure it, I just eyeball it. Take some multi-purpose glue. The reason I use this is it's the best adhesive for getting a really, really fine line of adhesive, thus making, you know, maximizing your pocket space, I'll say. And honestly, I just grabbed a piece of DSP that is 4 inches wide, so a 2x4. Sounds like lumber, doesn't it? 2x4. And there I've got a simple pocket for placing a gift card, and you've got space here to write your message or to add another stamped image. All right. Would you like to see more? Should I keep going? And again, I'm just creating on the fly, and you can do this too. Anybody can do this. Okay. Anybody can do this. What do you think? Keep going, or have you seen enough? You got the idea. I was going to say, why don't we, let's see what this is. That's 2 inches. I'm going to bring in, I've got a 2-inch strip. Sharon says more. Okay, I've got a 2-inch strip of copper foil. So let's play with this. I think what I'll do is make and again, I'm creating on the fly, an idea pops in my head and I'm going with it. And try this. Try creating on the fly. Gather all your supplies and just boom, 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 knock them out. It really is something that, number one, helps you feel very successful because you've accomplished a lot in a short time. But I would say it also adds to your sense of confidence with creating. The way you, what do I want to say? The best way to learn to be creative is to simply be creative, to go ahead and do it, to not overthink things. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Oops, that's out. So you might want to bring in some foil or another coordinating color of cardstock or DSP. I'm going to bump this one up on dimensionals, I believe. But before I put this in place, I want to decide on a sentiment. And let's see, kind of tall and narrow or very small at the bottom. I think this one would work nicely. Let's see, where is it? Oh, my happy holidays. Where is that? I'm so excited. This is the missing stamp. I've had the stamp out right next to me and I kept it on a block so I wouldn't lose it, and I couldn't figure out what stamp set it went into. So yay, that was meant to be. I love it when that happens. And I'm just going to stamp it in this corner. Slightly crooked, but I think it's okay. And I'm going to cut this just a little bit shorter. So this is 4.5. I'm just going to cut it to 4 inches. Another 2x4. And I'm going to mount it just like that. Kind of even space top and bottom, and then a little space there. And dimensionals, where are you? I've got this last little bit here that I'll cut into pieces. So I'm using those and not wasting. Those dimensionals go a lot further if you cut up all that edge around it that's left over once you've pulled out the hexagon shaped dimensionals. Okay, I have a prize, so if you're watching and you haven't commented, be sure that you're commenting. So I hope you're still here, so you hear that there's a prize. I'm going to add some of the copper stars to this, and then I'm going to stop and tell you what the prize is. I feel like I wish I put that one a little bit closer. I'm going to highlight this one here. Put it directly on top of the star that's there, and I'm going to put one up here as well. Okay, so there. Okay, so the prize is I am going to send somebody some 2-inch strips, several 2-inch strips, and I'm going to ask you to do exactly what I've done. You don't have to make your cards the same. You don't even have to go back and look at the video to see what the cards are like. I'm just going to send you a bunch of 2-inch strips in an envelope. It's hard to send 12 by 2, so I'll probably cut it down to like 8 or 9 inches, 2 by 8 or 9 inches. I'm just going to send a whole variety, and actually I'll send to 3 people. So we'll draw names for 3 people to do that, okay? And I will get those in the mail today. So take a look back at our cards. Again, this was all about simple stamping, stamps, ink, and paper. And then we followed up with a few embellishments. I love that with the embellishment just on the star, no place else. Again, you can see I pulled a variety of embellishments. You know what I'm going to do right here is, where are my pearls? I'm going to take some pearls and put them right here on these dots between the words. That's something that just came to me as I was flipping through the cards, and I thought, let's try it. Not bad. Okay, and then I have this one, Peace on Earth. And then Come Let Us Adore Him. I feel like I want to put a star on this one or something up here. I think I'm going to do a large one up here, and then 2 of the smallest size gilded gems. Over here. So the brightly gleaming paper that I'm using today was in our holiday catalog last year. So if you're thinking that looks very familiar, that's why. And this came back. Oh yes, a star would have worked too, Amy. That was my first thought. But it was one of the favorites. So they brought it back to this 2020 holiday catalog. So yes, you can still get this. There's a beautiful stamp set that coordinates with it. There are ornament punches that go with that stamp set as well. So one of my all-time favorites. I simply love it. And the nice thing about it is it's not just for Christmas. I mean, look at these other designs in here. That can be for any occasion. Be fun for Father's Day, for patriotic, military, birthday, on and on and on. A beautiful stripe on the back. The stars can be used for lots of different occasions. That could even be used to celebrate a retirement or birthday, you know, a congratulations, graduation, something like that. And then this pretty geometric pattern on the back side. It's very neutral, can be used for a lot of things. We've got the, I think I said the stripe already. The stars, we talked about the stars, used some of those. This could be used for a lot of things. This would make an elegant birthday card, an elegant anniversary card. Here's one that we did not use, and I love both sides of this, which could be used for something very neutral. Not neutral, but what do I want to say? Something more common, not just Christmas, you know, birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. And then even the opposite side of it. It's gorgeous with that blue, the Night of Navy print on the pretty peacock. And then, of course, this one says Christmas, but look at this. I'm sure you can come up with lots of ways to use this. This could even be like used as grass. You know, we have the Trimming the Town suite with all the little houses and it's got snow and stuff. But what if we use this as some grass and then stamped and colored and die cut the little houses and things to put on there? So definitely ones you can use throughout the year, even though it's marketed as a Christmas paper. Are there any questions about anything? We've gone longer than what I typically do for a Facebook Live. I usually keep it to 30 minutes or so. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you are inspired to do some creating on your own. And this afternoon, I will be sending out some DSP strips to 3 lucky winners. And I'll announce that very soon. So have a great Monday and have a good week. I will be on my business page Wednesday evening. So please join me on Facebook at Stampin' Scrap with Mary Knabe at 7 p.m. Have a good day.